same mistake over and over and over and over and over, that's probably a competency or a learning issue. But if you're making new mistakes and then you're learning, you're getting up and you're moving forward, making another new mistake, getting up, learning, moving forward. If you're constantly doing that, boy, you are learning lessons. You are becoming valuable. You have got a lot more to add to other people than if you never did anything, never took a risk, never made a mistake. So don't be afraid of mistakes. Failure is not our enemy. I think we're on 1, 2, lost my track. We're on number 8 now. Others are growing. A growth environment, you're not the only one growing. If you're the only one growing in your environment, you're going to get depressed pretty soon. You're either going to bring them along with you or you're going to want a different environment. So you need to be in an environment where everybody's excited about the growth. Hey, we're all going to get better together. We're going to make a bigger difference. We're going to do better. We're going to help more people. We're going to set and hit our goals. So others are growing too. Number 9, people desire change. People desire change, a growth environment. People welcome change. So many people, they're afraid of change. But boy, you're never going to get better if you don't change. Growth is necessarily involves change. And then the last one, number 10, is that growth is modeled and expected. A healthy growth environment, other people are showing you what it's like. They're ahead of you, like I mentioned. They've modeled growth, and they expect you to grow too. Now there's a pace. We all need to find that pace that we can grow at and sustain for an indefinite period of time. Nobody goes over to Mount Everest and takes 3 Thompsons at the top of Mount Everest. You don't do that. It's step after step after step. So it's just constantly finding and taking that next appropriate step. Not all the steps at once. If you're a perfectionist, like I have a tendency to be, you might want to take all the steps at once, and then you might start feeling kind of down because you didn't get where you thought you were going to be. But hey, look back and see where you were and where you are now and the difference in the two, and be encouraged by that, and then just keep looking for that next appropriate step. Okay, so those are the first 2 things, our thinking and our friend, our growth environment group. And now the third thing I want to talk about is your strength development. All of us have strengths. Every single person, whether they realize it or not, that you're ever going to meet, has been given strengths and abilities and can make a difference in the world. So the first thing on the strength development, and we all need to develop those strengths we've been given. The first thing is we need to know what our strengths are. Now, a lot of times we can just tell them from life. Life will tell us what our strengths are. It's the things we get the best results from. It's the things we enjoy the most. It's the things other people notice and are like, hey, you're really good at that. If you're not sure what your strengths are, you can start just by asking the people around you, hey, what do you think my strengths are? What do you see me being good at? More so than other people. So I can find out, not to put them down, but so you can know what area to work the most on and to add value to, because it's going to make you more valuable in those areas that you're good at. So the first thing is to know your strengths. You can ask around, you can evaluate your own life, reflect on that, on what's really worked for you and what's not. But then there are also some books. One of them that I'll recommend, I love this little book, is called Strengths Finder 2.0. You can get it on Amazon, and it has a little code in the back. You tear it off and you put your little code on the website that they give you, and you can take a test, and it will tell you what your 5 top strengths are. I believe it's 64 strengths that they evaluate, but it'll tell you what your top 5 are, and that can add a lot of insight to you. And also, if you're on a team and other people take it too, you can learn a lot about each other and come to understand each other more deeply, and know who you should hand certain tasks off to, because it's in their strength area and they're going to do better at it than somebody who doesn't have that strength. Also, another thing on your strengths is to ask the question, what can you learn to improve in your field? What else can you develop? So that you can gain more understanding about an area that you're in and an area that you're already good at. What else can you learn? What courses can you take that would help develop you, that would teach you something new? Who's ahead of you that can mentor you? And just ask. If you know somebody, if you have access to somebody and you see that they're ahead of you in an area, ask them to mentor you. Come up with some questions so they can help you in it, and things to discuss. And then what needs exist around you that you can figure out how to improve? So many highly successful people have just looked around them, seen a basic everyday need that could be improved, and they just came up with it. The old quote, you build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. So if you come up with something on a daily basis that people need, and you figure out how to improve on that, or find an unmet need and come up with a solution to it, wow, that can really launch you places. And that's what so many of us as coaches are doing every day, is we're finding out, okay, where are people? Where are they trying to get? What needs do they have? And how can we help them meet those needs and move farther down their path. So I wanted, before I leave with you today, I want to give you a reading list, though, because books, there are very few people who are very successful who don't read.
Jeff will be back shortly to wrap up today's message. This is Gabriela, still on the scene today with Talk Network Radio. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Empowered Living with Jeff Byrd. If you've missed any part of today's message, you can hear it again online, as well as the entire archive of Empowered Living at www.talknetworkradio.com or search keyword #Empowered Living. We would like to acknowledge our music partners, Sound Ideas for Corporate to the Max and Kevin MacLeod for Airport Lounge. Any scriptures read during this broadcast are from the New American Standard Version of the Holy Bible. If you would like to learn more about Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, visit www.jeffbyrdcoaching.com. That is JEFFBYRD coaching.com. Do a Facebook search for @CoachingRocks or drop Jeff a line at jeff@jeffbyrdcoaching.com. Again, JEFFBYRD coaching.com. Let Jeff's Coaching Rocks be the building blocks of your empowered success. Now, let's go back to Jeff for the rest of today's message.
Because we need those books, especially these classic books I'm going to give you the list of in just a second. Those are books by people who are very experienced, who have observed a lot of life, and who have put them down so that we can gain from that. And we don't do ourselves any favors by not reading books like this. So this is a reading list that I got from Jim Rohn. It's in his little book that I've been reading this week called The 12 Pillars. Fun little read, great little book, The 12 Pillars by Jim Rohn. But in it, he shares this reading list with us. And number one is the Bible. And he was not a preacher. He was not a religious person by any means. He was a trainer. But even if you don't look at the Bible for theological reasons, it contains so much practical wisdom and so many brilliant illustrations that we can learn from, that we would be remiss not to learn from it. Just on a business level, if you're a business person in an organization or a business owner, maybe just to read the book of Proverbs, one chapter a day. That was written by the man who was said to be the wisest man that ever lived, King Solomon. And he wrote those down to teach his children. These are good practices in life. These things will get you good results. These things won't get you good results. And just reading through Proverbs one chapter a day, which equates to the days in a month, most months, if you'll read that through each day and just put like one thing that jumps out at you into practice, you're going to start getting better results already. Okay, number two is How to Read a Book by Mortimer Adler. I'm going to repeat them each twice for the people who are listening, so you can get a chance to read it down. How to Read a Book by Mortimer Adler. Number three, My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. Number four, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Number five, Seeds of Greatness by Dennis Waitley. Seeds of Greatness by Dennis Waitley. Number six, Seasons of Life by Jim Rohn. Seasons of Life by Jim Rohn. Number seven, The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. Number eight, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Number nine, The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Number 10, The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Number 11, The Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived by Og Mandino. The Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived by Og Mandino. Number 12, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I just started rereading that again this week. Number 13, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn, that's A-Y-N, Ayn Rand. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but again, it's Atlas Shrugged by Ayn, A-Y-N, Rand. Number 14 is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Number 15 is Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. Number 16 is See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. A lot of people's favorite motivational speaker. It was such a warm personality. Number 17, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. Number 18, Lessons in History by William James Durant. Lessons in History by William James Durant. And number 19, The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. Just got that one and can't wait to dig into it. That was one of Jim Rohn's top recommended books. I heard him at a conference and he said, this is the book that everybody should read. He said, only 1% of the people I tell that to get it and read it, but that's a book you don't want to miss. And then number 20, this is the last one, The Story of Philosophy by William James Durant. The Story of Philosophy by William James Durant. So I hope that if one of those titles strikes you, that you'll reach out. These have been around, most of them, for many years. They are timeless classics. They contain great wisdom that can greatly propel us forward in our growth journey. So I hope you'll think again about the 3 things we've talked about today, about our thinking and what we're putting into our minds, about our friend group and our growth environment that's created by them, and also about what your strengths are and what you can do in order to develop those strengths and become more valuable and create a better life for yourself and for those around you as you do add value to yourself. Because, you know, we have to remember we cannot give what we do not have. So in order to give more, to be more valuable to the world around us, we have to have more. We have to develop ourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to be with you today. I hope that this was beneficial for you. If I can help you in any way or on your growth journey as a coach or just as a thinking partner, feel free to reach out to me at jeff@jeffbyrdcoaching.com. jeff@jeffbyrdcoaching.com. I'm Jeff Byrd with Jeff Byrd Coaching, and this is Empowered Living. See you next time. God bless you.